Good morning, my friends. A brief message on these unusual, challenging times, and I'll be using some metaphors, and hopefully these metaphors will be of some use to you. So the first point I want to make is that, there's certain things we have to do, like wash our hands, or what we consider activities that are mundane, ordinary. So can we sacralize them? Meaning make it more sacred. For example, when I wash my hands, may I make it into a prayer? Can I say, as I wash my hands, may this also cleanse my impurities so I can really offer my hands in service to God's creation? As I create space with the other, may I sacralize that, make that more holy, more sacred, by telling myself, through this space, I'm sending love and light to the other. This morning as I was driving, I made this prayer as I put my hand on my steering wheel. Oh God, please always steer me in the right direction. I remember Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, every time he would walk through a door, he would make it a prayer, oh God, open to me the doors of thy mercy. This is also a time when we really need to slow down. Smell the roses, and maybe look very, very carefully around. This insight by Rumi, who says, if a drop of the wine of vision could rinse your eyes, everywhere you looked, you would weep with wonder. This is a time to become still, go into meditation, prayers. It is also a good opportunity to do some self-reflection about your life. The wonderful poet Tagore, he said, I spend my days and nights stringing and unstringing my instruments, but the song I came here to sing remains unsung. It's not being manifested. The wonderful insight by Rumi, who says, no matter how many titles you attain, how much riches you hoard, the thief will come from the unguarded side. Therefore, focus on that, concentrate on that in your life, which can never be stolen. Love, compassion, service, justice. This is really a time to be present, mindful, aware. That beautiful saying by Thich Nhat Hanh, the miracle is not to walk on water, the miracle is to walk on land. May I in this time also cultivate, build a faith in something higher, greater than human personality. Call it God. I cherish that story of the Bedouin in the 7th century who was about to pray in the mosque, and he asked the Prophet Muhammad, should I tie my camel to the post or simply trust in God? And the Prophet Muhammad famously said, first, tie your camel to the post, then trust in God. A very important point, my friends, is may we really take to heart this insight that we are all so incredibly interconnected. All of us, everywhere, at every level, are profoundly interconnected. That wonderful poetry, I think by, the name is Francis Thompson, thou canst not pluck a petal without the troubling of a star. Or that insight by Rumi, doesn't matter what your differences are in religion, in politics, in culture, in race. He says, the branches of the tree, they sway differently in the wind, but they're all connected at the roots. Again, we are unimaginably interconnected. So, if I discriminate against someone because of my conditioned bias, prejudice, this is not just harming the other or that community, it really makes the entire society dysfunctional. That wonderful saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Oh, that beautiful saying by Dr. King, if I remember, he says, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. My friends, may we in this time truly care for the other by building community. We desperately need authentic community. My favorite insights is from Rumi. A wall standing alone is useless. Add to it other walls, it can support a roof, even a granary. Only when ink joins with a pen can the blank paper say something. My friends, maybe realize that this is a critical time where we simply have to do that inner, inconvenient work of becoming a more complete human being. I'd love to just tell you about two instances which illustrate these points. Some years ago, I was in a panel on racism, and this African American professor, he gave us this statistic that, did you know that every 28 hours an African American is being killed by state-sponsored violence? We were aghast by the statistic, but he said that's not the real problem. The real problem is the African American is being murdered a billion, with a B, billion times a day. By what? By those conditioned prejudices, biases, stereotyping we have of the other. So my friends, legislation is very important. Education is very important in overcoming racism, anti-Semitism, the curse of patriarchy, homophobia. But the key is we have to really do this inner inconvenient work of overcoming our conditioned biases, prejudices, stereotyping of the other. Let me give you another example which is very dear to my heart, the need to really heal this planetary degradation. I love the words of this wonderful environmental scientist at the time of President Carter, who said, for 30 years I've thought the biggest environmental problems are loss of biodiversity, climate change, ecosystem collapse, and that with 30 years of good science we could overcome these problems. He says, now I've realized the biggest environmental problems are selfishness, greed, and apathy. And science cannot take care of this. It requires those practices. I love the words of that wonderful 19th century Zen environmentalist who said, taking care of the river is not really about the river. It's about the heart. And lastly, may I emphasize this beautiful, great need, and this is happening more and more in this time of crisis, to be of service, to be a lamp, a lifeboat, a ladder to the other. You know, my friends, there are people in our own neighborhood who cannot, as we say, just slow down, stay at home. In our neighborhood, we have friends who are working feverishly just to survive, to feed their family. Can we be of service to them? If we can we contribute to those wonderful charitable organizations that are really springing up everywhere to help those who are marginalized, the ones who are suffering because of our system? Can we take care of the children who are stuck at home? Can we be of service in our neighborhood for those who are vulnerable? You know, Prophet Muhammad said, do good deeds according to your capacity. God never tires of giving rewards unless you tire of doing good deeds. The good deeds most loved by God are the ones that are done regularly, no matter how small they are. My friends, if I just end with this wonderful phrase, utterance by Rumi, who said, please, may we come out of the circle of time and enter the circle of love. Thank you.